Slot left.
Back at Verona. Little pitch over the middle, tipped away at the last minute by Covello. Al Florence, the big 6'3", 200-pound senior tight end, was the intended receiver, but Covello preventing a score.
And he was the one that should have been, you know, coming up with a dive fake. He reacted very well. I'm sure he took a step in when he saw the dive back come up and then got back quick enough. So his reflexes are in place.
Third down and 11. Immaculate Conception would love a score here to narrow their deficit going into the locker room. Covello wants to run, and he's not going to pick it up, as Al Ruglio fought off his blocker, fought off the man in front of him, and upset the play.
And I think Theobald that time had decided that he was going to run the ball. He didn't look downfield at all. It's too bad, because he had man-to-man coverage downfield, and it would have taken a good pass and a good reception, but it was certainly a possibility.
4th and long. Under a minute remaining in the first half.
And the line's coming.
Pressure, and he is finally brought down. Newman had him first. He kept the feet going. Then Jennings applied the final toss to the ground. A timeout called by Verona. They want the ball back, and they want to do something with it.
It's very tough to throw the ball when everybody knows you're going to throw the ball, and that's what happened. Newman came barreling through. Marion came through. Both ends come firing up. Passing down, they had nothing but pass on their mind, and everybody knew it. He never had a chance.
And the Hillbillies take over at the 30-yard line. And let's see if they've got something special in the playbook. Getting back to that playoff situation is a very interesting story. As Steve detailed it, it doesn't appear, if things fall the way he believes they will, that Verona will play Cedar Grove. But it is a possibility that they could play Cedar Grove next Saturday in the opening round of the playoffs, and then play them on Thanksgiving in a regular season Colonial Hills Conference matchup. That, if both Cedar Grove and Verona win today, would be for the conference championship. If Cedar Grove wins, they would be undefeated in conference play. If Verona beats them, they would each have one loss. But a rarely seen instance, although it did happen last year, between Johnson Regional and the Brearley Bears. And Johnson wound up winning the regular season matchup, and Brearley came back in the playoffs. The games were flip-flopped. It was the regular season preceding the playoffs. But at any rate, Brearley came back a week later and stomped them on the way to the championship.
This year, the first playoff game will precede the Thanksgiving Day game.
Yes, which is the way it had been, except for the last 2 years, where they had an experiment of playing the first round of the playoffs on the Saturday after Thanksgiving. Another timeout called by Verona. 2nd down and 10 with 40 seconds remaining.
And then there'll be a 10-day wait before the finals.
Following Thanksgiving.
Following Thanksgiving.
Yeah, the first Saturday in December is slated for the state championship, although there apparently will be, and again, it's all speculation based on what might happen, but there is the possibility that there'll be a couple of games played on the Saturday after the first Saturday in December. On December 12th, there's the possibility of a couple of championship games being played because of the inclusion of extra teams in certain brackets in the playoffs. Covello on the keeper around end is ridden out of bounds after a 5-yard pickup.
I never saw so many kids, as I've seen today, like to go hitting people, you know. They don't try to avoid anybody from Verona. They like to run over people. They're not particularly big, but geez, they're tough kids. Boom, you know. They like to run over people. He loses the ball, but he loses it out of bounds, so he may have relaxed a little bit. We'll give him credit for that.
Kevin Connor injured on the play. Looks like he's just got a little numbness in that right arm. Maybe got a little bit of a stinger. He's trying to get some feeling back.
You mentioned the fact that Immaculate was hitting this week to kind of shake up his squad. Well, you know, I went over and watched Verona for a little bit, and they also were hitting. And, you know, I asked about that. I said, why the devil are you hitting this late in the season? And Alex says, hey, we've got to let these kids know that we've got a ball game this Saturday. We take it easy and we go, we have a non-contact practices, and they kind of think it's easy.
And they are in a position where they have to win this game to be assured of a playoff berth. So you don't want to be looking past an opponent.
Kids are very perceptive that way.
Third down. All the receivers covered. Cavello stepping up and brought down for a loss of 5 on the play.
But he didn't throw it away, and he didn't throw it up for grabs, which was wise.
But
he didn't give Immaculate another chance.
But with no timeouts remaining, Immaculate can't stop the clock, and it will run out here without Verona having to get a punt off. So it'll be 21-0 at halftime. Verona on top. They have scored all 3 touchdowns on the ground, 2 by Dave Anico, 1 by Steve Cavello. And they have 1 half to go, separating them from a playoff berth. We're going to take a short break here. We will come back with our halftime activities. Stay with us.